Andrew Gambis back with another main event breakdown. We have Tom Aspinall taking on Alexander Volkov in a heavyweight matchup to a disqualification. So really only one pro loss, and that was back in 2015. He has won 7 fights in a row, most recently finishing Sergey Spivak back in September of 2021. He also has a submission win over Andrei Arlovsky in first-round finishes of Alan Badeau and Jake Collier. Alexander Volkov on the other side. He's been there, done that. He's 34-9, ton of pro experience. Fought a who's who of the heavyweight division: Curtis Blades, Derek Lewis. He fought Cyril Gane. He most recently defeated Marcin Tibera. So Volkov's been around the block. Both these guys prefer to strike, but are not slouches in the grappling either. I think this fight's primarily going to play out on the feet. One thing about Aspinall, he's only been to a second round twice in his entire pro career, and he's never been to a third round. This is a 5-round fight, so if it goes to championship rounds, it's hard for me not to favor Alexander Volkov here. And this is interesting for me. So the line is about a pick 'em, depending on where you look. It looks like Aspinall is -110, -115, -120, so maybe a slight favorite towards Aspinall. I honestly thought I would like him going into tape. I don't have a strong conviction on this fight, but if you put a gun to my head, I would play Volkov. I think my magic number for betting him here is probably +120, +125. I would get involved because of that experience. He's fought a better level of competition. And Aspinall, we have no idea what he looks like later on in a fight. Aspinall's level of competition is not very high. He fought Alan Badeau and Jake Collier, who just quite frankly aren't top-level heavyweights. And then his last couple fights, Sergey Spivak, not much of a striker, and then Andrei Arlovsky, who is in his mid-40s. So I say all this to say I think Volkov's the side here, but the reason I haven't bet him, if this was 6 months ago, I would be betting Volkov, but he looked so bad against Marcin Tibera, so bad for Volkov. So I don't know if you just chalk that up to him just having an off night, which I think it must have been. It's not like he's old and he's shot. He's only 33. But, yeah, I thought he looked really off against Marcin Tibera. If that fight never happened, I'd probably be betting him here. I mean, he only got outstruck by Cyril Gane 135-115. He's gone 5 rounds before. I definitely think that whoever wins this fight is going to be in a really good spot in the heavyweight division, especially if it's Tom Aspinall. But I'm picking Volkov to win. Especially if this goes to championship rounds, it might be worth looking for a live betting opportunity, considering Tom Aspinall hasn't been out of about halfway through the second round. It'll be really interesting to see what his cardio looks like. A lot of question marks here, so not going to be a big bet for me, if any, either way. No real lean on the over-under. I see that it's set at 2.5, shaded towards the over. If I had to pick there, I'd probably bet the under at plus money, but I'm not making any bets on that total. Probably won't have a bet on the fight from money line perspective unless Volkov gets out to like that +120, +125 range. And even then, I would still have to think twice about it. So picking Volkov, no bet as of right now. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. I like to keep these main event breakdowns short and sweet. Going to have some more content over the week. Going to be on Sportsline this weekend. Going to be doing my podcast with Magic on Thursday night. And I'll link that in the comments as well so you guys can tune into that. We go over the whole card breakdown. Also, the NCAAs for wrestling are this weekend. If you're into that, I'm thinking about putting some content out for that. Let me know if you're interested in it or not. There's going to be some betting odds I hear later in the week. Definitely, that's my favorite sports weekend of the year. I love NCAAs for wrestling. Want to help grow the sport as much as possible. So let me know if that's of interest to you or not in the comments. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see you next week for another main event breakdown. Thanks for tuning in again.